Welcome, ladies and gents. Terminator, the anime. Yes, that's right. There is a Terminator anime called Terminator Zero. We've got the first look, courtesy of Entertainment Weekly. And you know what? It actually looks really good. It actually looks really good. I'm keen for this. Love the animation style. The art style is great. It's my cup of tea. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because, you know, I'm a big fan of Akira. And I think the animation style works really, really well with it, as you can see here. I don't know. I'm in for this. Look at this. Doesn't that look great? Thoughts? We'll take a look, because there's a little bit more information as well. It's a whole article to go through. And there's much more images. And yeah, it looks great. So hit subscribe if you're new here. Turn the bell notifications on. And if you like what I do, and you want to support, because YouTube likes to demonetize, Patreon. It's linked down below. Please do support for as little as $2 a month. It's not really that much. Less than a coffee. So, yeah, here's the first look image. If you didn't know, I mean, the major red flag is that this is going to be on Netflix. That's a huge red flag, of course. But there is a Terminator anime. Here it is. And it even says here, Mattson Tomlin, the showrunner and executive producer behind the new anime series, tells EW how he embraced the horror vibe of the first two films. That's great to hear. Because, yeah, there was horror there. Yes, it was a sci-fi, but it was a horror. And it was pretty brutal. So, let's take a look. When Mattson Tomlin, a writer on the Batman Part 2 and Project Power, sat down to pen Terminator Zero, he hit a hurdle he wasn't expecting. It didn't have anything to do with continuity, which feels like the obvious head-scratcher, given all the time tampering across 6 movies. It's not that difficult to do. You can get around that quite easy, to be honest. Just set it all in the future. Anyway, as Tomlin tells Entertainment Weekly, the show treats all the past films as canon. We're not going to pretend that the third movie didn't happen. We're not going to pretend that the 6th movie didn't happen. You should. No. The specific challenge related to the setting itself. The powers that be at Netflix, Skydance, and animation studio Project IG, because it's the same guys behind Ghost in the Shell, so really good animators, wanted Terminator Zero to have some kind of Japanese component. Interesting. Tomlin took it a further step and set the 8-episode anime in Japan. I was aware that there aren't really guns in Japan, and I don't think I quite appreciated how real that was. But that adds to the horror, does it not? I'd imagine. And look at this. What a bloody great image. Doesn't it look great? The animation's so good. I know it's a still image, but you can imagine this in motion. And Studio IG, you know it's going to... Well, Production IG, sorry. You know it's going to be good. In terms of animation, you know it's absolutely going to be great. There's more images, by the way. So, perfect example. His first pass at the Season 1 scripts featured a sequence where violence breaks out all over Tokyo, prompting citizens to pull out firearms. My partners at Production IG came back and said, hey, so there are no guns in Japan? If we needed a gun, we don't know where we would get it. It was such a stunning moment for me. Like, oh, wow, I am an American. Which is true. I mean, yeah, it's true that you are an American. But it's true that other countries don't have access to weaponry like America does. Whether that's good or bad, I shall let you debate down below. Anyway, that instance is a good indication of how Terminator Zero breaks from what audiences have come to expect from this franchise. It's less busting into a neighbour's car to grab the pistol that just so happens to be in the glove compartment, and more sword fights with a Terminator that has blades for arms. That sounds fucking sick. That does sound cool. And quote, there's also a definite Taxi Driver, Travis Bickle kind of vibe in there, Tomlin adds, referring to Robert De Niro's iconic Martin Scorsese movie character. If I was going to fight a Terminator and I don't have guns, what are the weapons that I could concoct? Molotov cocktails? Crowbar? Bludgeon? Samurai blade? Anyway, the biggest deviation with the anime, however, is the lack of the Connors. Oh my god, thank god, good. That we don't need the Connors anymore. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Namely, Sarah and John. Terminator Zero will ditch the core faces of the franchise thus far to focus on a set of wholly original characters. And quote, I think that it's time to go into new characters and not burden myself with another John and Sarah Connor saga. There's been a run at that a couple of different times. There are a lot of callbacks to the other films. Fans who really know the movies are going to be doing the Leo meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But it's not going to be as direct as John Connor walks in, because John Connor does not walk in. I honestly love the sound of this. This sounds great. And are you ready for another really cool image? Ah! Doesn't that look good? I don't know about you, but I love it. I love this. The imagery is brilliant. Production IG are the best studio to work with for this. Absolutely. Unequivocally. Anyway, so there's some more information here. It says the show primarily takes place in Japan in the year 1997, on the cusp of Judgment Day, the pivotal moment when Skynet's military AI network becomes self-aware, leading to a decade-spanning war between an endless army of machines and the human survivors. There are still the familiar Terminator beats. A soldier from this hellish future is sent back in time to protect a scientist named Malcolm Lee, who's working to launch a competing AI system to Skynet. An unrelenting machine assassin in the guise of a human is hunting him, which also puts his 3 children in harm's way. I knew that I wanted to tell a time travel story, Matson says, and I knew I wanted to tell an almost Godfather-like multi-generational saga that would ultimately follow this family with these kids. What I wanted to do, if we get to do multiple seasons, is to see these kids grow up and see who they become. That's a cool idea. And there's nothing stopping it either, if this is well received, to continue this in the way of a live action movie. Although I doubt they will. Tomlin was very much inspired by the first two Judgment Day. First two Terminator movies, 1984's The Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Although a certain rifle-touting robot with a thick Austrian accent and a killer motorcycle jacket might not be popping up in the anime. Good! He wanted to emulate the feeling of uncertainty to who's good and who's bad. Tomlin points to Michael Bihn's Carl Reese in that first movie. Quote, you don't know what's going on with that guy. You do not know that he is the hero. In a similar way for Terminator Zero, he adds, these are all original characters. We don't know who anybody is. All of these answers are going to absolutely be revealed, and they'll be revealed pretty quickly. That sounds cool. Anyway, another amazing image. Holy shit. That's amazing. It's a great image. Anyway, a little bit more. The inspiration comes from further into the tone of the series. Unlike later installments that have what Tomlin describes as muscular sci-fi action, he embraced the horror elements of director James Cameron's movies. Quote, there's a completely valid version of the Terminator franchise where the Terminator is synonymous with Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger, where he is the unrelenting serial killer. There's a little bit of Friday the 13th in here. There's a little bit of Michael Myers Halloween in there. Just no guns. I love the sound of this, and it is going to be dropping on August 29th. On Netflix. I'm all in for this. I think this is great. What do you guys think? Thoughts down below.